Hello everyone, and welcome to my Romenso Three Kingdoms XIII event editor explanation. So some of you have been asking me how the event editor works, so here it is. First, there's two parts, the main editor itself and a message editor. The message editor is basically content that appears like people's conversation, narration, or other comments. You can give it an ID or whatever, and you can also create this in the event editor itself. This is just basically where you manage these messages. Now the event editor, first you have to make sure you have your name, and that part, let me tell you, with the Chinese version is a pain in the ass. You have to get Chinese input and a program that does a Chinese input, and then you have to basically copy paste it in here. Otherwise you can't get it. So it's a pain in the ass to do it in a Chinese version. That's why I haven't made any events. But when the English version comes out in the PUK, I think there's a really decent shot at this happening, because they created a new database for the English version already. So I think a couple months down the line, the English version will probably appear. So I'm just doing this to let you guys know what will happen with the event editor, and so you can get a grasp of what you can do with it. Now, first you have to have the name, like I said. Without a name, you can't progress at all. And how this event occurs. Now you can make it into a regular event, or you could make it into a friend request. So, you know, friend request, do certain things, and then you become friends with another officer. Now, if you switch it back to event, you can make it occur in different areas, such as when you speak with someone, when you look for someone at a bar, or a bar will give you a mission. It occurs in your home base, during a time, etc, etc. Beginning of game, you know, stuff like that. This, I have no idea what that is. I think it's a separation bracket for whatever reason. That I'll have to figure out when I actually create an editor later, or create an event later. And then there's comments. Not very important, it's just there for, you know, for you to know what the event is about. It's just for your purposes. Alright, now, I will use Lu Lingqi's event that you get from the DLC as an example. Because, like I said, I can't create an event with the Chinese input being a pain in the ass as it is. I could still do it, but I would much rather not. Anyway, so I've already explained the basics of the event, so there's that. And then there's four other important parts about this, such as the condition as to what would cause the event to occur in the first place. So this one, you have Lu Lingqi. Is Lu Lingqi a free officer? Diao Can a free officer? Is Cao Cao a ruler? And when does this occur? The chance of it occurring. Yes, you can even set that as well if you really feel like your event occurs too much. And then there is Lu Bu dead? What about the what happens to Lu Bu event? And then if your game is set to historical or not. So that's how this event would occur. You can also change it, of course. You can change stuff like the time that it occurs, if the Han Emperor is there, what the officer statuses are, like if they're free officers or they're governors, and if they belong to a faction, if they belong to a city, if they're dead, and their friendship levels with someone else, friendship with someone else, their title, their companions, etc, etc. There's enough conditions to make it so that it's actually pretty complicated. Alright, so there's that. And then there is characters. So this basically allows you to set up to 5 characters that will appear in an event. Lu Lingqi, Diao Can, Cao Cao, grandmother. And if you want, another character. And here we have the meat of the event itself. So basically you have a message editor. You have stuff like background, you have where people speak. You can change that here as well, such as this. You can make a background that you can see. And then you can show a character that appears. If you have no character, a narrator will speak. So you can set speech bubble. I set this Lu Lingqi to appear in the center, on the left, Diao Can on the center, Cao Cao on the right. And then I set the speech bubble to speak on the left side, so when a message appears, Lu Lingqi will be the one who speaks. And then there's your messages. You can create new ones here if you want, or you can use pre-existing ones with whatever ID that you know of. You can use background music, whichever background music you want to occur, sound effects, and there's also another set of event CGs here as well. The first set is, what are those? So this is, I guess the first set is just background CGs. This is event CGs. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, there you have it. That's the meat of the event itself. You can even have it replay right here if you want, though it's pretty long, so I'm not gonna do it. I may do it later when I actually do the event. I'm gonna change up the conditions a bit because the condition for this event to occur is really rare. You have to actually go through with the Lu Bu campaign in 198 as another faction other than Lu Bu. Or actually no, I think you can do it as long as you're not playing as Lu Bu, but it's really tough. It's really tough to occur. I don't really like that, so I can change to certain things so that it appears easier. Anyway, so there's that, and then finally there is results. So this is what happens when an event resolves, such as Liu Lingqi and Dao Can become friends. Liu Lingqi gains leadership up to 5 levels worth. Liu Lingqi gets war up to 5 levels worth. Each 100 is basically 100 EXP, so there's 5 levels worth. And then at the end, Liu Lingqi will receive Sky Scorcher, the Fangtian Huaji weapon. You can also change different things, like if a ruler will switch places with another, or your governor, or you know, you can become other things like, let's see, like a marshal or a regular officer, stuff like that. Then you can also set if they would die. You could become friends with other people, EXP for different abilities and their deeds. You can even change things between factions, such as if a faction will be absorbed with another one, a faction disappears, a faction allies with another, ceasefire, or get rid of their alliances, such as stuff like that. And then there's things that you could set about cities, like farming levels, commerce levels, public order. You can set their training levels. Then you can also set stuff like messages that appears at the end of the event, friendship levels between officers, and oath brotherhood. You can also set marriage, and obviously. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is with the event editor. It's fairly as you would expect from a regular event that occurs in the game. So you can do some things with it. It's actually pretty powerful for its simplicity. Anyway, so that's pretty much all there is to it. So when the English version comes out, I'll probably do a couple events myself. Otherwise, you know, I'm just gonna keep with editing events because, like I said, Chinese input, pain in the ass. So there's that. Anyway, I may do this event as a campaign later for Liu Lingqi because I'll have to be pretty honest. The assassin playthrough left a really bad taste in my mouth. So I may use this chance to do a flying general campaign with Liu Lingqi, because general is one of the six basic classes that appear in the game. Now we'll see. There's other things I may do, like the Yuan Shu thing, Yuan Shu Emperor survival thing, or Cao Zhang succession thing. We'll see what happens. So, you know, let me know in the comments if you want to see the Liu Lingqi thing, or Yuan Shu thing, or Cao Zhang thing, or maybe even any other officers that you want me to play as, if I have time. Anyway, that's it for now. I thank you all for watching. Until next time.